Hey guys, welcome back to another video here at the Alpha Pack Shop. We have here a 2021 Honda Foreman 520, brand new off the showroom floor. It is for a buddy of mine. We're gonna get it all set up for him. He told me and Liam here to work our magic, so that's what we're gonna do. He has thrown some 30-inch swamp winches on the ITPs here, some 14-inch rims. Looks good, fits them fine. But he's already got the Rad Relocate for me here. We're going to be throwing on the Wild Boar ATV Radiator Relocation. So he's got that here for me. So that's what we're going to be installing. Also going to be going through all the electrical, all the vent lines, waterproof and all that. Crankcase vent mod. And we're going to be throwing our signature snorkels coming through here. And with the Rad Relocate, it's going to help support it as well. It's going to look really good when it's done. And I'm really happy that he was able to get this. He definitely deserved it. He's a hard-working dude. And, yeah, he deserves to be able to have something nice for himself and him and his family to go take out on the weekends. So, can't wait to get into it and show y'all what we're going to be doing. And we're going to take you along for the ride. All right, so as we're bringing y'all along, I wanted to just go ahead and show you this. Here we go. Have everything removed. You do not have to do this if you are just doing a Rad Relocate or whatnot. Given that this is a brand new bike, everything comes apart easy. And I am dielectric greasing all the electrical. So I have disconnected all the easy to do connectors. The airbox is out. As you can see, I have it stripped down like this. But all these relays, I take them all out and dielectric grease down in the connector area to where water can't get in there. Anything that's easy to disconnect. Now, these kind, like these, you don't really have to do those. Those have a good enough seal from the factory to not have any issues when in water. Also these here as well. And if you do put if you can get them off really easily, go ahead and hit them. This one I know for sure. This is the stator one. That one's a pain in the butt. But yeah, so we've got it broke down to here. Got everything dielectric grease that I can get to as of right now. I'm about to remove the radiator to be able to build the Rad Relocation. But yeah, so here's a little update on where we're at right now. And also real quick, just to show you this little shield here, I want y'all to be so careful. See my finger? I slit that sucker right down the middle, squirting blood everywhere, because the edges of this shield are so sharp. I literally just touched it down here when I was taking that little hose off for the crankcase, and I touched the shield and it sliced right through the tip of my finger. So y'all please be careful while you're doing this. You can really hurt yourself and you're not expecting it. So I'll come back when I've got a little bit more done. All right guys, it's the next day and everything's dried up on the airbox. I was able to take all the boots out, clean all the old stuff off, use dielectric grease in the seam where it seals up against into the airbox, and then I reinserted all the boots. Then I smoothed everything out. Also silicone the little sensor here and there. So if you ever want to remove your airbox, you just unplug it. So everything's inside and out is good to go. Not gonna leak because it does leak from the factory. There you go. Here's the console. 1, 2, and 3 siliconed up. Here's the Wild Boar Rad Kit. It's put together. Got the radiator in it. We will be figuring out a way to use this somewhere on the bike or a different one. The Can-Am bottles are real small. I might see if I have a spare one of those laying around. But we will be using an overflow. That's for sure. Don't want to plug that line either. Do not plug that, because if you do, you will create a huge thing of pressure in your whole system here. And it could blow a line off, your coolant line. What else I got? I noticed this. Here's that tilt sensor. And I've got to open this up and I've got to fill it with either silicone or dielectric grease. My personal preference is using dielectric grease. So I'm going to do that so that won't turn the bike off if he rolls it or put it on too steep of an angle. He won't you know, be sitting there and his bike cut off on him. So that'll be taken care of. Here's my snorkel stuff. About to get into the snorkeling. And with these Honda boxes, if you put a 2-inch piece of ABS over this end right here and glue it up, or use ultra black, it goes straight into there, guys. And this stuff bends very easily anywhere you want it. So we're gonna route this stuff all the way up to where we're gonna come out of the center, where that cap is. So where their old radiator was. Even if the rad was in there, you can still do that. So this is the stuff I use. I see on other people's stuff, they use this black stuff, but this stuff is much more heavy duty, I find, and resist the heat a hell of a lot better. So once I get into the snorkel and stuff, I'll show you all how I do it. All right, guys, more progress has been made. So I have the airbox put back into the bike. Everything's sealed up good. Here's the crankcase vent line now. Loops around the throttle body and down into where it originally connected. And see-through. It's 3/4 outer and 1/2 inch inner diameter. Here is the air expansion valve, or air expansion chamber. He wanted to keep that in there instead of putting a cap in there. Like I said, you can either use the box or you can put a 2-inch cap in there. This is a little thing Mud Puppy on his channel says to do. It is normally down here somewhere and it gets wet and it'll mess stuff up. And he recommends you put it up as high as you can. And he's the Honda man, so if he says to do it, I'm doing it. Dielectric greased everything. As you can see, the pod is back in, the dash, everything's sealed up. I have 3 loops in all the vent lines. There's 4 up there. Now, I know I said there's 5, but since we're doing a rad relocate, I don't need to run a vent line up into the pod for the radiator fan. The fan is high enough to where I can just loop it onto the back of the fan, and there's no way any water could get into that. I've hooked up one of the lines there. As you can see, I've put the front plastics on just to kind of mock things up. I'm currently getting the snorkels ready to at least start installing them from the airbox on, and have a couple pieces made up. Let me show you those. Here they are. All right, so this is that military grade heater stuff that I use now for all my snorkel builds. And this is the part that's going to go into the airbox. That was a Street 22. Here's a piece of 2-inch ABS, and then we're going to hook these two together with a 2 and 2-inch rubber boot and go from there. And then once I figure out how I'm going to come up and out for my riser, I will then start putting everything else back on. So, all right, guys. So I've started the snorkel. Everything's dry on it. So there you go. It's in the box down here. The 2-inch, any 2-inch ABS fits right into the OE boot for the Hondas for the intake. And this is how I have this orange heater line. This is the stuff I use, the military grade. And then sometimes I'll disconnect this if I need to, but it seems like this newer one's a little bit different than the older ones. So that'll be there. Nothing will even move. So boom, and then right here is where the other piece will connect, and then it will run just like normal right behind the shock here, and then it's going to come over and come up. Here's the piece I have made up for it. I'm waiting for this side to dry. So I've just got a Street 90 and the pipe, and then a piece of 2-inch ABS, which is going to go in that 2-inch rubber boot. And you can, like I said, make it go wherever you want, and then zip tie it. I use AC zip ties to zip tie it to the frame and stuff where I want it. And then it's going to come straight up from down there through here. And as long as the rad relocate allows me to, I'm going to use the little cap here, the black piece, and cut a 2-inch hole, or right over 2-inch, and I'll have it stubbed up through that. And then what I do is I use a rubber boot 2-inch 90, or just a rubber 2-inch boot like down there, and I push the part up through that, and then, you know, put the boot down on it and then cinch it down, and then it doesn't move. So then the top piece, the top clamp on the 2-inch, either the 90 or whatever I use, is from your riser up. So that's how I do them, just so y'all know. Wanted to show y'all. That's kind of my signature series. I've never cut a hole in these plastics here, how some of these guys do on the right side, like all these kits. I've never bought a kit. I will never buy a kit to install on someone's bike. Even if they brought me a kit, I wouldn't do it. But it just looks so much cleaner, I think, and it's so much better to just have it in the center. That way you don't hit it with the handlebars. You know, you don't eliminate you being able to use the, although he's putting a Rad Relocate, he can't use the front rack anyway, but I just find it to be a lot cleaner. I can do it cheaper and easier myself as far as materials. So this is how I do my snorkels, and I'll come back in a minute whenever I have it all done. As you can see though, I do have this, I'm starting to put everything back together, so hopefully everything will just come together really easily. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have some pieces put back on the unit here, front rack, top part of the rack, and everything. I went ahead and took the tires off just to give me a little more room in here to do what needs to be done. I have the snorkels kind of put in place. Here's the orange military grade heater hose line that they use in the military trucks, and here's the 2-inch to 2-inch rubber boot, and then here's another piece of this, and it's going to go up just like we do all these other Hondas up in here, and it's going to go over here and then up through there. So before I do that and then build my risers, I want to install this Rad Relocate kit right here that we've had sitting off to the side. And that way I'll know where I need to run my lines for the coolant lines, and then also these U-bolts. It's a brand new bike, so I didn't want to really scratch anything up on the rack, so I went ahead and just slid some heat shrink around it and heated it up, shrunk it onto there. I think it just looks better, and it won't scratch the racks. Like I said previously, we will be installing the overflow here. I'm going to figure out a way to attach that to the Rad Relocate. And once I get that thrown on, we will come back and take a look and see how it looks and see where we're going to run our lines. Alright guys, so I've got the snorkel all the way done. Here's my riser coming up from my 2-inch boot. I was able to drill a couple holes in here, run this big zip tie, and hold this all in place. It's not going anywhere. And then let's move down. So that was a 90, and then there's a piece in here to this 90 that's glued up to all my this military grade stuff. This black is flex tape that I wrapped around here. That's where the bolt is for the top rack, and I didn't want it to vibrate and rub a hole in there. Anywhere I saw that it could rub a hole, I did that, even here. So I have it mounted up to that factory hole there. That's the 2-inch to 2-inch rubber boot. So it's a 2-piece system that I make. And then this goes down into the airbox, doing it the way I had said previously. For the coolant lines, I took the left side off, and I'm going to use that to go from the bottom part here, radiator, where it hooks up. And I've drilled a hole here. And here's what my inside of my box looks like. So I had to cut this out because it's in the way, and then to come into the box, took a big step up bit and drilled a big hole down in the bottom of there to where I can use this line that was factory to come up, and it plugs right in. So this will be shut and it'll come out there. So here's the radiator relocation. A couple little touches I do: heat shrink around the U-bolt so they won't scratch the racks. Also here, this is that flex tape. I just cut a couple strips and attached it to here and here, both sides, so that when it's sitting on the rack, it's not going to scratch up anything. And also if you ever go to take it off, you'd never know it was there. So like I said on before, I looped this vent line for the fan up in here, attached it here. It's not going to hit anything. And then after I mount all this up, we are going to then come back and see how I'm going to do the overflow. Alright guys, as you can see, it's finally done. Took a whole lot longer than I had anticipated, but everything has been gone through now. So nothing to worry about when he goes to ride at all. I had mounted the reservoir for the cooling system right up here. If it were my bike, I did it temporary for him. But if it were mine, I'd have drilled a hole here, put a rubber strap or something around it to hold this neck piece in place. And down here, I would have moved this slightly back and drilled a hole for a bolt to go through to hold that down. I think it looks pretty cool right there, honestly. This kit, unlike some others, does not come with anything to relocate the reservoir for the radiator. It said in the instructions not to run the reservoir and just run a line straight down. And I have a problem with doing that because as soon as that line hits the water and your bike goes to cool down, it's gonna suck up a bunch of dirty water up into your cooling system, and it's gonna tear some things up inside your motor, gum up your radiator, who knows what else. So I'm not doing that. So I've mounted it like that for the time being. If he wants to change it down the road, that's up to him. Here's your snorkel setup. It's just floating. Doesn't move much, but there's that 2-inch and 2-inch rubber boot. And yep, that's my riser. It's only glued right here. This is not glued. If he wants to change that out down the road, he can. It's up to him. Yeah, guys, 2021 Honda Foreman 520 is complete. Get to deliver it to him tomorrow. I'll get a little bit of footage of that and see his reaction to it. But yeah, it's only got about 5 miles on it so far. And I told him he needs to break that engine in before he starts going water riding. So I told him to go ride it around a little bit. Don't give it full throttle for a little bit. But yeah, let me know in the comments what y'all think. And when we come back, we will be delivering this unit. And I'm going to be bringing my Ranger tires with me. And he's got a set of tires for the Ranger to put on there. And I think I'm going to be taking his stockies for this bike too. So anyway, we'll catch up with that when we get over there tomorrow. All right, guys, we just pulled up to Ever's shop. And I got the 520 on the trailer. And we're going to deliver it to him.
Yeah, Patrick. Got it ready, bro?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're over here at North Shore Tire. This is my buddy's shop. This is Ever.
That thing looks badass. Guys, you're gonna love it, guys. Oh, yeah.
Brand new bike. Trick
Sweet.
out.
Man, amazing, bro. Nice job, bro.
Thank you, man. A lot of work, a lot of work.
A
lot of work goes into these things. It's all on the video. Guys, he hadn't even ridden this thing, literally. He's probably so amped up and excited. Bought this bike brand new. Had 1 mile on it when it came to the shop. And it's finally here. Took about a week to get it done. And I'm sure he's ready to go hit some mud with it.
Oh, yeah.
Ah!
Nice, man. I love it.
Well, guys, if y'all are in the Mandeville area, y'all come check out his shop, North Shore Tire. It's over here on Highway 59 and 190, right next to the little car wash here in McDonald's. Go ahead and get this sucker off the trailer and get it into the shop. And then we're gonna get on these tires. We're gonna swap these out. I got a little surprise for that. All right, guys, so it didn't take him but just a second. And he was already decided on he's gonna put these Outlaw 2s on his bike. So he just did that. So here it is with the Outlaw 2s. He took them off the rims and I think it looks awesome. A little bit of a heavier setup, but I think it's gonna do well with these, and it definitely looks a lot better if he's gonna be riding in some mud. So he picked those up, some used ones for like, I think like 400 bucks, man. That's a steal on some Outlaw 2s. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. 2021 Honda Foreman 520 build is complete and delivered, guys. And I had mentioned some tires for the Ranger. Here's the old ones. And Liam over here, he picked these suckers out. These are the Milestar Patagonias, 33 by 1250s, R15s that he stuck on the Ranger rims. And we're about to load these up on the trailer and head to the house and throw them on the Ranger. And I'll do a separate video on that. Thank you, Liam, for picking these out. I think you did a great job. It was between these and the Mastercrafts, and he picked these, so we'll see how they do on the Ranger for riding to the camp and stuff. So I think we're going to be really happy with them. So look, guys, if y'all would hit that like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and we're going to see you in the next one. Take it easy.